talking basketball. They're fucking dumb as shit. They don't know basketball, but they will make dumb ass jokes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pod Don't Lie with Sam and Stav. We are back at it. Motherfucking wow. What a fucking last couple of days of basketball. LUKA, I mean, there's no other place to start. Motherfucking LUKA Doncic.
Youngest player ever to hit a game winner in the playoffs.
Unbelievable. So many, like,
an overtime game winner.
Yeah, it's insane. So many crazy stats from this playoffs already. I mean, that was such – it's been a while. Like, when's the last moment – did you watch that game live, Sam?
Yeah.
When's the last moment you
– the Punchline Philly green room, baby.
I love it.
Set up. It was
fucking road dog. When's the last time you felt like that was like historic? I don't know, man. That moment was like big.
It was one of those things where you're like, oh man, it would even if you're not a Clippers fan or whatever, you want that game to end with a W for LUKA.
Yeah, absolutely.
To drop all those points, and dude, he was just unstoppable. It didn't matter who they put on him, which is funny because before the series started, you heard people on like Barkley being like, "Yeah, but look how many turnovers he gets," and you're like, "Yeah, well, because he always has the ball in his hand, and he's against great defenders." Absolutely,
and now look, that some of the criticisms were correct. I mean, LUKA. What was really impressive about this game, there's a lot of things. I mean, his line is fucking insane for a 40-point triple-double. And that's just 40-point. It's not like 40, 10, and 10. He had, 40, 17, and 13? Like, that's insane. I think that's the only person who's ever had a line like that in the history of the NBA.
And no KP, dude. That's before the game.
No KP.
I heard that, and I was like, hey, man, look, knee problems, soreness. You don't sit out a potentially – season-ending game with soreness. I don't buy that. I think it's worse than that. And maybe the Knicks knew something. Maybe this wasn't as bad a deal.
Instantly. Let alone the fact that Trey Burke was over there cooking like he was the number 2.
Dude. And Tim Hardaway hit some big nut shots. I was like, the Clippers are just, I mean, obviously Paul George has been beyond.
Oh, my God.
You were talking shit before the playoffs.
Yeah.
What was that sound?
Oh, no, that was my mic. That wasn't a fart of joy. That wasn't. I'm just letting out gas. That's me farting on Paul George.
Dude, he has been, so look, early Paul George on the Pacers, I thought those playoff teams were solid, but he did get cooked by Joe Ingles 2 years ago in the playoffs.
Absolutely, sir.
Dame iced in his eye, ended it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're talking a lot of shit coming into the playoffs for a guy, and like you don't want to be on the maybe team that is favored to win it all talking shit.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, Paul George is just a whole. We should dedefinitely spend a lot of time talking about Paul George, but let's just sufficiently suck LUKA off first because he truly deserves it.
Yeah.
He's playing no KP, like you said. And before we get into whether this means the Knicks were geniuses all along, but when he's out, it was like, oh, okay. I thought like they had that good win. Like, LUKA's going to play good. He's going to put up some nice numbers, but this series is effectively over. And the first half of that series did look over. Like, the Clippers early come out to a big fucking lead. And by the way, LUKA, before we knew anything about KP, the talk was like, LUKA's probably going to sit this one out because it's such a quick turnaround because of his ankle. Because it was goes from an evening game to a afternoon game. People were like, oh, it's a really tight turnaround. They're probably going to sit this one out and then try for the next one. And then not only does he not sit it out, KP sits it out. The Clippers come out to a fucking big lead. He's carrying them. He's not getting, he doesn't have his number 2. Now, shouts out to, Trey Burke was looking fucking great. And took it to Kawhi. Took it to Kawhi one time.
Yeah.
Seth Curry came out.
Trey Burke was a great college player, and he's kind of been, shipped around a lot in the pros, but he's a gamer, dude. I mean, he's a very confident player. So is Tim Hardaway Jr.
And you know what? It's really nice because you see him and you're like, this is his role. Like, this team feels like a lot of stuff is coming together that we're going to see for a while. Like, Trey Burke feels like he could be their Leandro Barbosa. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
the Brazilian blur, baby.
exactly, dude. Yeah. But I mean, that was the best game I've watched in so long, and it's definitely the best game of the bubble for sure. Not even close. Even though there's been some, the Blazers have been awesome and everything, but
You're leaving out one major thing.
what's that?
The Mavs should have won game one.
Right.
Series, dude.
Right.
KP,
It's crazy.
before he gets ejected,
Yeah,
they're looking like they should win that game.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, they've played a game and like a quarter without KP here, and but the thing that really stands out is just and also, you got to give it to Lou Will for he was the one that kind of kept them in the game when the Mavs were making that wild run. But LUKA was he was doing everything that he does great, right? Like this was like a trademark LUKA game. It was really impressive. I mean, he had Kawhi on him.
Mm-hmm.
No one could really stop him. It was just like Kawhi beat him up a couple times, but it wasn't like a sure thing that he was going to stop LUKA. And LUKA brings them back. It's an incredible game to watch. Burke's going off. Seth Curry's going off, calling Paul George bitch ass, which is awesome. Incredible.
This has so much. It has a lot of weird storylines. Montrezl Harrell, calling LUKA a
bitch ass white boy.
A bitch ass white boy. Which is like, look.
Yeah.
If you're Montrezl Harrell, you probably get away with that 99 times out of 100.
Right.
But then with LUKA, you're like, hey, he seems pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, they made up whatever.
That was a nice moment. You're like, you see that shit, and you're like, why can't people on the internet be this cool?
Right. Yeah. Well, because they don't compete, and people on the internet don't actually want anything and can't feel joy. Like those are athletes that are competing and whose lives are good and who get pussy. And it's like people on the internet, it's like all they have is winning a fucking, online argument. But, I mean, Trez looked like dog shit, too. And so, obviously, so did Paul George.
Well, Trez has to guard Boban, which Boban's just, like, posting up with these one-handed shots.
I love it. Boban shoots the basketball the way you do, the way you're playing, like, at Chuck E. Cheese, the basketball game. Like, those little, like, to win tokens.
Yes.
That's how big his fucking hand is. And he just holds the basketball. And he's got a nice spin on it.
Dude, imagine Boban playing beer pong. It would be like the weirdest. You're like, what do you even do with this? Yeah, he looks good though, dude. He is playing pretty well.
Well, it's smart. I mean, they're playing. That is the Clippers. Weak. That's one of the Clippers' weaknesses, and they're being smart about when they bring him in. And Trez is 6'7". Trez is LUKA's height, for Christ's sake. And
LUKA is strong. For a 21-year-old dude, there was a couple times he took Mook to the rack and like bodied him. Where I was like, a guy his age, like that is LeBron shit at his age.
No, I mean,
he's not as athletic as LeBron.
No, he's not as athletic. But look, it's weird to say this, but it's like he's better offense, LeBron, worse defense.
Yeah.
And it feels blasphemous to even. I mean, LUKA is so good that we're starting to have these conversations that don't feel correct. You know what I mean? Like I saw Jason Concepcion on Twitter say, "Is LUKA right now better than Prime Dirk?" And it's like, it feels blasphemous to say, but it's like
he's not though. And here's why. Okay.
I don't know though. It's at least a conversation.
It's a conversation,
which is fucked up. It's weird, dude. He's that good.
Here's where the conversation ends. Who did Dirk beat in 2011 to win a ring? Kobe,
everyone.
Durant, LeBron.
Yep.
Wade, it ends there. And Dirk was the guy, dude. That's what I'm saying. I'm not denying LUKA. Will he be better if everything goes right? Yeah, he will.
Yeah, but what's crazy is, like, if he plays like, if he plays like he did last night, if he beats the Clippers, if he gets to the fucking Western Conference Finals, there's an argument. I mean, it's not out of the question. But that's what I mean. When that shot and that game in general, it was like, I don't know, and again, not to be hyperbolic here.
Just don't disrespect Dirk, though. Dirk took
Dude,
two
it's not,
finals,
though. I know what you mean.
Finals.
I'm not disrespecting Dirk. I'm just saying, like, that's what I mean. That's how good LUKA is. I mean, look at that line, bro.
Look
who he did it
I'm
against.
Just saying, like, he is 21. He's been incredible. This year's been incredible, but it's been a year. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, though. Remember what I was talking about on the Patreon where I said, like, I think this has been the people that have benefited from this are the people that needed another year for development. Like this is essentially another season. It's not the same
Right.
season.
Wow,
Luka's
yeah.
kind of like that. Luka has taken another leap, dude. I mean, he's even better than he was during pre-corona already.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, that shot, it's the feeling I got when fucking LeBron does the block and goal. I know it's game 4 in the first round.
You're taking some the block in Golden State.
I'm
won the
just saying.
championship, though.
I know, but I'm
game 7. I'm just saying.
What I'm telling you is like the feeling I got when the clip when Chris Paul hit that layup in, how about that? That's game 7 in game 1, San Antonio. But
I'll give you that. That was also a game 7, but yeah.
But I just mean in terms of like when you look at everything, he's on a turned ankle. His second best player is not there. He's playing against the best defender in the fucking league, who's also arguably the best player in the league right now.
Two of the best defenders.
Two of the best defenders. Yep.
But here's by the way, you saying about Chris Paul, like holy shit, how long has Chris Paul been good?
Yeah, dude.
That happened so long ago.
Chris
a long
Paul,
time ago. That was against Tim Duncan.
2 teams ago. It was against Tim Duncan. He was on the Clippers.
Yeah. And Chris Paul was also great on the Pelicans. Like you think how long this guy's been good.
The Hornets
they were
back
the Hornets.
then.
They were, it's a different name. He was
Yeah.
also great on the Braves.
Yeah. Anyway, look, obviously it's not – I'm not saying it's the same level as like a finals or a game 7 or anything like that. I just mean it's like legendary shit the way it's like LeBron's Detroit series where he scores – the last, however many points in that game 5.
That's what it reminded me of.
Like MJ's 63 or whatever it was against the Celtics, even though he doesn't win that game. Like,
right. The win is the biggest part because if he puts
the buzzer beater, yeah, dude.
That to win like
Crazy.
That
is insane.
The way Kawhi hit the biggest shot of the playoffs last year, that's without question the biggest shot of the playoffs probably this year.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's hard to top. We'll see what Dame can pull out.
Right.
That's going to be hard to top.
Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic shot at least. It's because of all the factors of he's arriving, he's doing it against Kawhi and Paul George, and he's doing it again, and he's doing it without Kristaps. He led a comeback. His second bananas are Curry, fucking, you know what I mean? Like Maxi Kleba breaking shit. Yeah.
A bunch of shooters in Boban.
Yes, and you know what else is huge? Yeah. What has been the problem with this team is being clutch, is finishing games. Luka has looked tired. He's pouted when he doesn't get the. I mean, in the game they lost to the Clippers, he was like pouty and like in one of the games, and that's the the knock on him, and that's like, does he have that part of Harden's game in him? That as similar as he used to Harden, does he also have that problem as well? And that's why this is so fucking crazy. I mean, the Clippers came out and they were up they came out in the overtime and they were up. It was like, and they just fought the fuck back, and it's so impressive because he did all that stuff and he sort of fights back against the narrative against him. And the scary thing is, as an offensive player, it's like, he's not a great technically shooter. It's insane. I mean, those step backs, he airballed 3 of them. I know. Or at least he airballed 2 or 3. I don't remember.
What's weird is it does pass the eyeball test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're like, this looks pretty. When it's not going in, it looks like it should always go in, even when he shoots an airball. I
mean, he airballed one he got an assist for because Trey Burke just caught it and put a layup in, dude. Like, that's what's so – I mean, what if he just becomes what if he becomes as good as Harden at shooting? While keeping all the other stuff.
Harden couldn't shoot like this at 20.
Yeah, dude. I'm just saying.
Create like this. I mean, Harden was a very good young player on the Thunder, but like no one knew Harden had that second gear until he went to Houston.
Yeah, for sure. And it was surprising then.
You knew it was dumb for the Thunder to get rid of Harden, but you didn't know how dumb. And then you see him in Houston, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You fucked up. And now another crazy storyline is like I mean, look, Paul George has been dog shit, dude. He has been straight up
Absolute dog shit.
My man Mook has at least shown up.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Mook, how does it break your heart? Mook was supposed to get the game winner, dude. It was his shot.
No, because I want a series. I want this going 7. So like I was happy for Mook when he hit that shot.
Mook hit that. I mean, Mook was so much more important to them that game than Paul George.
That game? You mean this series? You want to go?
Yeah.
14, and 9, but he hit that big shot.
Here, you want to hear
George's numbers? 14, 11, and 9. Those are points throughout the series.
You want to hear some fun stats?
Yeah.
Some fun stats for Paul George's. I got this one from Zach Cram, who's like one of the Ringer stats guys on Twitter. He's a good follow. Players to shoot under 25% in 3 consecutive playoff games, taking at least 14 shots each. Here's the whole list. Howie Dalmar for the 1948 Philadelphia Warriors and Paul George for the 2020 Clippers.
That is brutal.
That's the whole list. Howie Dalmar.
He's shooting. Do you know what Paul George is shooting so far this series?
You hit me with it.
10 for 47.
Oh, my God, dude.
That's almost 20%.
That's so fucking brutal.
I mean, and look, and it's also rough because this is right after the game where Kawhi said, we got his back. Like, they're like, well, his shooting's been – they were even kind of being like, the shooting's pretty rough. And Kawhi's like, it's all good. We got his back. But you know what? Deep down, Kawhi's like, come on, dude. I could have been playing with Siakam, Van Vliet, and Lowry again.
Yeah. He's like, God damn it. Why do I like LA so much? I could have just bought a fucking Canada Goose and had another championship.
Dude, how far favorites are the Raptors this year if he stays?
It's not even a question. It's like, it's almost like they're the Warriors. Like, they're like a dynasty. It's
Siakam takes this leap, and he would have taken it. Lowry's still good. Van Vliet takes a leap. Ibaka is still good.
And Nurse is such a good coach.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year. Congrats to him. Congrats to Pussy getting Mike Budenholzer. That's what I'm going to call. That's what I'm calling.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, and I know I'm slurping all over Luka's nuts right here. I know I've got my saliva like dripping into his gooch. That's how much I'm throating him right now. But he deserves it as far as I'm concerned, man. That was like, and I don't feel like what I said he was even hyperbole. That was legend. That's shit that you're like, I remember that. I remember where I was type shit.
That's when you're like, thank God the NBA is back because we got to witness greatness.
Like Dame's shot, obviously that's a walk-off from last season. That's like, I mean, it just reminds me of those moments.
That was also, that Dame shot was series ending. Paul George has been on the opposing end of
some brutal stuff. Devin Booker did it in the bubble earlier, but
he fouled him and they didn't call it.
Yeah, fouled him.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I mean, with Paul George, obviously is doing them favors, right? Like Paul George and Trez. And Lou Will stepped up big time because he kept them in the game. He just provided scoring that they straight up did not have. Lou Will had an incredible game, but it doesn't fucking matter because this is the LUKA game for eternity.
Well, that is why I kind of gave like a slight edge to the Clippers over the Lakers in terms of matchups because obviously, like, look, it's very Paul George and Kawhi. Before you say that's very close to LeBron and AD. Now it's obviously just the way Paul George is playing versus Anthony Davis's ceiling. It's not really that close. But then you have that third guy, Kuzma, versus that third guy, Lou Will, who's I think just superior as a playmaker and a scorer down the stretch. And then you also have just the depth of the Clippers with like Montrez and now Mook. I mean, they just have way more weapons.
Absolutely.
That's how good LeBron and AD are that they can make it, I think, competitive, and a lot of people are favoring them still.
And I'll say this about the Clip, like, I know it's like you don't feel good about this at all, obviously, but it is in a weird way a testament to their depth that Paul George lays a fucking egg, Trez lays a fucking egg, Patrick Beverly is out, and this is still an overtime game that gets decided by a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Look at the quality of player that just is either out or giving them nothing.
Well, and they gave up a lead, dude. I mean, the Clippers climbed back in. Kawhi hit a huge three down the stretch, heavily defended. I mean, the Clippers just kind of play like they know they're in the game. They have that veteran kind of
Absolutely.
They have that cool. Where
They have what Kawhi has. It's like it's like which Toronto didn't really have, like because they kind of tried hard the whole time.
They did at a certain point, like toward.
Well, I just mean they gave a shit constantly because they were just still hungry. This is a veteran team that is like, yeah, fuck it. We've seen Kawhi do this before. We can do it too. You know what I mean?
Don't you think Paul George is given? I think Paul George is nervous. I think he knows he's playing.
He's really nervous, dude. That's what I'm saying. Is like his vibes are so off. Like fucking Kawhi should have done a vibe check. He should have gotten some bitch to burn some sage around Paul George. He should have checked his fucking chakras because Paul George's vibes are so bad. They are ruining the like favorite to win the NBA championship going into the playoffs. Yeah. He is just like, and that's what I mean. Is like, I mean, he found the perfect on paper. This is the perfect thing, right? It's like he gets to be the second banana. He doesn't get any of the pressure, but it's almost like he'll fold no matter what it is. Like I hate to trash him this much. It's getting ugly.
You hate him, yeah. I mean,
I don't hate him. I literally feel bad for him now.
But you know, like just talking about the eyeball test. I know his numbers were horrible, but he had a play in overtime when he just threw the legs multiple times, broke down. I forgot who the defender was. Went to the rack with such ease that you're like,
yeah, but you know,
he's so talented, but he just can't hit a jump shot right now.
Sam, what happened the next two plays? He does the exact same thing, smokes the layup, misses it. They get back in the game, and then he has Seth Curry on him on the post, who is like 7 inches shorter than him or whatever the fuck he is, and he just fucking called him a bitch ass at the beginning. And instead of taking him to the rack and scoring much needed points on that mismatch, he gives the ball up. You've got 6 foot Seth Curry on you.
But that's even then, Kawhi.
Scared, bro.
What are you doing? Kawhi's like, you shoot that. So also so off brand for a Curry to call someone a bitch ass.
I love it. That. He's my favorite. That's what happens that is what's really that's what's really weird about this is. So I think we've talked about it on the show before, but Seth Curry is married to Callie Rivers, who Paul George was dating while he knocked up the stripper that is now his wife, I guess. Shouts out to her. We covered that saga in an episode earlier. But so there's some weird. It's your ex's. It's your girl's ex who's like better than you in whatever, and like you're a little guy who fucking took him for a layup. I mean the play that he called him a bitch ass, he really did own him. It was fucking crazy. And what's weird also is like. That's the coach's daughter. That's the other awesome angle.
This is a spider's web of just
Doc doesn't give a fuck though. I think that's truly what.
Yeah.
I don't think Doc cares.
He is looking like he's not doing a great coaching job.
He's not doing a great coaching job. I mean, the fact that they who was on him at the last shot? They switched. They let them get a switch, and it was like Reggie Jackson. Was it Reggie? And whoever it was, it should have been Kawhi, and he should have fought through whatever switch. It's insane.
They couldn't win the big games when he coached the Clippers and they had CP3.
True.
Like,
I love it. Let's get this going.
A lot of people are saying.
And why did the Celtics win?
Tom Thibodeau.
Tibbs, baby.
And Tibbs was.
And where does he coach?
The Knicks bring him in. What else do the Knicks do? We bring back Mook next year.
That's right.
Mook is part of the culture change. We hopefully get Van Vliet as well. Van Vliet and Mook at least makes us an 8 seed. And then, hopefully Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker, we find a way.
I love it. When
and
there's
then
a will, there's a way.
That is how we entice the great Giannis. I think that's
yeah. But
by the way, did I tell you I saw Taj Gibson on the street the other day?
No, where?
He was just in my neighborhood. He was just walking down the street, and I was like, he's a handsome guy. So it took me a second. I was like, who's that tall, handsome guy?
Yeah, who's that model?
Oh, that's Taj Gibson.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Number 67, baby.
Did you say what's up?
I didn't. It was too late. It took
Brooklyn's
me a
own.
second.
Yeah.
It took me a second to process it, but
that's awesome.
Taj.
Anyway, yeah, this game was legendary. Luka's bubble, and they got the double bang out of Breen. He got the bang bang.
Amazing.
Which I think the last time he let that one fly was for Steph shot. I think in the OKC series where they came back from 3-1. I believe that's.
It's amazing the things that just influence the future, because they don't come back. They don't go off in game 6.
The entire NBA is different.
It's just different. And also, dude, the fucking Nets I was wrong. I thought they'd take at least a game. They got swept like candy asses. And, I mean, dude, KD and Kyrie, I'm just like, I already don't like that team. I'm a Knicks fan, man. I'm just like, I hate rooting against guys I love watching, but like, I'm angry that they're going to be nasty next year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm not even
will.
thinking about that shit, dude.
You
There's
know
too
they
much.
will, though.
Yeah, they'll be interesting for sure. I mean, yeah, KD obviously, but
It's KD, man, and Kyrie and Dinwiddie and Levert.
yeah, it's a
and
good team.
A
It's
good
a
culture.
team.
And dude, shouts out to Jacques Vaughn. I think he's a good coach.
He's a good coach. Did you see that they're saying Joseph Tsai, or however you say his fucking name, the owner of the Nets, has been trying to get he wants Pop. He wants Greg Popovich.
No way is that happening.
You think Pop wants to come? You think, dude? I don't know. This could be like a how Stella got a groove back moment for Pop, dude. You know what I mean? He's been rest in peace. He's been mourning his wife who passed away a couple of years ago. Maybe it's time to get a little loft and Park Slope, pierce your nose, and get some pussy while you can get Pop in like white dreads. Doing essential oils with Kyrie, getting all types of Brooklyn, getting some Bushwick pussy, just like
you think Pop wants to deal with Kevin Durant?
I know it's the most non-Pop shit of all time.
If it was like LeBron or someone else who like they just are not going to give him the respect he's used to, and he is set up in San Antonio where like he's got a handle on the trades, he's got a handle in like the front office, he's connected. And
he's in the front office,
yeah. So I mean, for Brooklyn, I just don't. If you're that coach, maybe Phil Jackson would do it.
Come on,
Phil's
done.
No, I mean back in the day. I'm saying that.
Oh, right. Yes.
But Pop is more of like, it's weird to say this, he's almost more of like a system great coach.
Yeah.
As opposed to Phil, who was like a star head coach.
Right. Pop puts in Pop is he is the culture. Whereas Phil is like, I'm going to fuck with these guys' heads and in a way that somehow comes to a championship. I'm gonna challenge the right man's masculinity.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave.
Feels like I got you a book, and they're like, "Fuck, homework, really?
Yeah.
I have to read Lao Tzu."
He gets Kevin Durant like how to stay off the internet for little dick motherfuckers, and it's like chicken soup for the little dumb bitch that can't stay off Twitter soul. And it's like, what the hell, Phil?
I hope that they have a bad year next year. I hope they like get the 9 seed in the East somehow. Like they have
the Nets.
I hope they have just enough injuries.
Come on, the 9 seed.
They're gonna be great. I'm annoyed, dude.
Yeah,
I'm angry that a New York team is gonna be great, and of course it can't be my team. Of
But
course not. It's been a fucking horrible 20 years -2.
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you, bro. But I will look. I don't think Pop's going to do it. Obviously, I don't think that's in the cards at all. But I get what the owners. I get what the owner is thinking in terms of like this is almost like, remember when Dirk hadn't won and he thought of like there were rumors that he would go to Golden State as like just an extra shooter, like be a super stretch 5. And it was the kind of thing where people were like, he's going to do that. You don't remember that rumor?
But in 2011, they weren't even good yet.
No, there was some, or maybe it was after he won the championship there was a rumor going around that Dirk is going to go to the Warriors, right? Gotcha. And I think it was the kind of thing where maybe if he hadn't won and he really wanted to chase it and the Mavs were going to be horrible, they would let him, it was the kind of thing that they would let him go. But obviously he's still a Maverick. Obviously he's still everything. And the only way I could see this happening is if Pop was like, look, I was planning to retire anyway. That's why I've been grooming, like, my coaching staff to take over. I want to go chase these championships for whatever 2 years. And I'm going to coach Team USA. And then I'm back as like, I'm still the Spurs guy, but I want to try this. And I see what Joseph Tsai is thinking because maybe the only guy that can get Kyrie and fucking Kevin Durant to stop acting like weird ass teenagers is Pop. Now
doesn't work.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But here's the other thing: Brooklyn you could trade. The other thing, if Pop's like, I want to set the organization up, And what if the Spurs like 2 future firsts in like, in 5 seasons, put them all the way out in the future so that it's after KD's prime. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way where it's like, I want to help out the franchise. I'm playing out my string here.
Who coaches the Spurs? Do you give Becky Hammond the job?
Becky Hammond? Yeah,
First
maybe.
female head coach in the NBA. That
could be.
Cool.
Could be.
Yeah.
She's she's getting to the point where it's like, she's going to start getting interviews, you think?
She's paid dues. I think she's next in line. You hope that someone like Becky Hammond gets a legit opportunity, and it's not like – I feel like the Spurs now are just like, I don't know what they're doing. They're kind of.
But you know what? The Spurs looked good, dude. They did look good in the bubble.
They look fine. I mean,
if they looked good without LaMarcus.
I just don't love DeMar DeRozan as like your guy. Like
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
It's out of place in time. He's a good mid-range player, but it's like he needs to have the ball, and it's just not efficient enough for me. It's not.
No, I agree with you, but
it also just doesn't excite me.
But I will say the Spurs did look way better in the bubble than. I mean, if they win that game against the Sixers, they're the 8th seed. Like it's them. It's them and the Blazers in the play-in, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But their player, and I think they looked good in large part because there was no LaMarcus Aldridge, and I think you could, in theory, trade the guy DeRozan. If he's ready to be Lou Will, if he's ready to come off the bench for somebody, for a contender, then you can trade him.
It just sucks you gave up Kawhi motherfucking Leonard, and his stock was so low that you couldn't get enough back for what he's worth. It's just a bummer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jakob Poeltl and DeMar DeRozan for Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard is rough, dude.
Of course, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so we sucked Luke off. We did a little.
You know who we got to talk about?
We got to talk about Donovan Mitchell, man. I mean,
Denver versus Utah. You read my mind, man.
I feel bad for Donovan Mitchell because if Luka doesn't do what he does, everyone's talking about him. I mean, Donovan Mitchell has 51 points in yesterday's game.
Second 50-point game in the series.
In the series,
guys to do it are AI and MJ.
Insanity, dude. That's an insane list to be on.
Yeah.
I mean, both of these guys are doing stuff that both Donovan Mitchell and Luke are doing stuff that nobody else has ever done. We get to watch it right now.
Not only that, Donovan Mitchell dropped 51. Jamal Murray dropped 50. That's the first time that's ever happened in a playoff game. Opposing players score 50. I mean, I got to admit, I was wrong. I thought Denver puts the series away.
We both were.
Because
I think I said 5.
without Bogdanovich, I just don't think – I think the Jazz are tough. Like, there's no question they're well coached. They're a tough team. But, like, Conley has, showed up late, albeit late, to witness the birth of his baby. But, Donovan Mitchell's – but he is the most electric player in the series, and it's not even close. Jokic is a great all-around player. But I also am glad that Denver's getting fucked up because they picked Michael Porter – fuck that shit, dude. We should have had Kevin Knox has been disappointing me, man. I hope he comes back next year. But like the fact that you get you think you're cool because you get like 2 high risk, high reward players, and it looks like it's panning out for you in Bol and Michael Porter. Fuck you.
That's right. You tell those motherfuckers, Sammy.
They both look pretty cool. They both look like good players.
They look really good. I will say like it's I feel dumb as shit because I watched the Nuggets and they were fun, but it was a little of like not watching enough full games because their defense was fucking garbage. Looking back, their defense was trash in the bubble too. It wasn't just like, I mean not to take anything away from Donovan Mitchell because it's incredibly impressive to do this no matter what is going on, but
he hit some hard ass shots, but he also hit some easy shots.
This defense is brutal.
Yeah. I'm not scared of either of these teams for the record. I'm just not.
No, not at all.
Don't you think Dallas takes out either of these teams with ease?
Yeah, I think either one of these teams gets fucked up. I mean, if Dallas plays the Nuggets, they're going to score 190 points.
Is it
every
safe
game.
To say these are the 2 worst teams in the West?
I
think so.
Then you're saying the Blazers are better?
Absolutely. I don't even think that's a question. Yeah, the Blazers are a better team than either of these teams. The Blazers.
The Blazers are not. I mean, the Blazers play the same kind of fucking defense that the Nuggets play, though, man.
I know, but they've got Damian motherfucking Lillard.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. They
And
have
CJ McCollum in the fourth quarter. Who do you want? You want guys who can just score, and that's what those guys have. Nurkic is good enough to not take Jokic out of the game, but at least give you some points back. And then, yeah, man, I think they're a way better team than the Nuggets. Their record is worse because they had injuries, but and then OKC, fine, I'll give you that. Maybe OKC, they're scrappy, but they might not have the same talent.
yeah,
But I think it's close. I think OKC gives them both a series. Rockets, Clippers, Lakers, obviously Mavs,
yeah,
all better.
yeah. I mean, it's just
These
it's
are the
tough.
two worst teams probably.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
OKC might be maybe fine, but like
Yeah, I think I think
I'm
either one of
underwhelmed.
this team could probably beat OKC.
I'm underwhelmed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I see what you're saying. These are them and OKC are worse than the 7 and 8 seed this year. It so happens to be because
Yeah,
of
dude.
because of LUKA and because of the 8th seed being such a special circumstance this time
The
around.
West is going to be ridiculous for a while
Oh, absolutely.
because
But
the Suns are great. They might not get in next year. I mean, dude, all this, and then the Warriors next year.
and I mean, listen, the Nuggets have a lot of fucking injuries, but I think Harris and Will Barton aren't playing, but
And also, big year for Minnesota next year. It's a real put up or shut up year. Do I think they're going to be great? No, but like, you guys want to play together. You got the first overall pick. What are you
Yeah.
going to do?
it's crazy because in some ways them getting the first pick kind of hurts them next year because they're probably not going to trade it, and whoever they draft is probably going to suck dick like all rookies do. You know what I mean? Like it's not the kind of year where it's a Zion or
What
there's
if you
no
take, Edwards, who's a shooting guard, who might be a good fit for those guys.
yeah, but there's nobody in the draft that's going to come in and produce. The only people that produce right out of the gate are super duper stars, dude. Like it's the only people that are ever any
We don't know
good.
yet, right? We don't know who that is yet in this draft. But I
Well,
will
what-
say
Yeah.
that like whoever goes to that team as opposed to going to the Warriors, those are two very different cultures, right? You're
Yeah.
going to where your leaders are Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell versus Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond. Like it's a different ballgame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you so want to go to the Warriors. I mean, I think the Warriors will end up trading that pick, but
Really?
yeah,
You
for
trade
sure.
that pick and a player, or you just trade that pick?
I think what you just figure something out, whether it's a player, whether it's the Andre Iguodala trade exception that they have 17 mil for Iguodala, whatever it is. I think you're trading it because you realize that the window is probably 3 years, like truly with Draymond and everybody.
Maybe.
You're trying to
What about
you're trying to.
Wiggins? Is Wiggins fit? I guess I'll have to see.
Nah, they don't give a fuck. Wiggins is a fucking afterthought, dude. Like I don't think Wiggins matters.
I don't think so, dude, because I think he could improve under their leadership.
I think if he improves, that's a nice bonus for them. But I think they just saw him as the cost of doing business for getting something out of trading KD. If you really think about it, that's what this is. They just had to keep him on their roster to get that pick from Minnesota next year. That's the whole reason he exists, and they thought before the pandemic that they would have the finances to cover whatever luxury tax and shit they'd be in because they're building that new arena. They're basically printing money, and they're one of the biggest draws, and they're going to start making all their money off of like concerts and events and other shit. And obviously things have turned sour for them. So I don't know, monetarily that's not going to happen anymore. So they might be in a different position, but I just don't see them taking a rookie. I see them doing whatever it takes to maximize Steph, Clay, Draymond's, the tail end of their primes.
I am a little higher on Wiggins than you are, only because this team is now basically the old Warriors minus some of the depth with Iggy and Livingston and those guys. But like,
Yeah.
except I think that I don't know. I think Wiggins is an upgrade from Harrison Barnes.
Well, listen, from Harrison, no, I don't think he's an upgrade from Harrison Barnes.
Really?
I think Harrison Barnes is a better offensive player, and he's a bigger body.
I don't think he is. Just statistically, I think Wiggins is just a more skilled player. I mean, his numbers have not been great because he has been the second guy all this time, but now he is the third or fourth guy. I think those shots are going to be wide open. Barnes got an insane amount of wide open shots due to Draymond, Steph, and Clay, and I think Wiggins will benefit from that.
Of course, he will be better than whatever the fuck he was in, Minnesota. I'm not saying that. And look, hopefully he becomes useful and he hits these open shots and he just becomes a defensive, and the defense that everyone was talking about when he first came into the league shows up. But I just think I don't think the Warriors have a lot of high hopes for him. I think if they can move him with the second pick, if he has to be salary filler, I'll put it this way: if they could trade him and the second pick and get a useful player, I think the Warriors would be thrilled to do that. I don't think they care about Andrew Wiggins one way or the other.
I agree. We've talked about this. It's not an easy contract to move.
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
so much money.
You'd have to be taking on. I don't even know. I mean, I haven't looked at the kinds of trades that would work, and you'd have to make the trade with a team that maybe didn't have aspirations to go anywhere and could eat the fucking salary for the next couple of years and wanted that pick.
Right.
And they had a prospect that didn't line up with their timeline.
Totally.
So that's a lot of different things. We talked about it a little bit on the page. We talked a little bit about the Patreon, but like Drew Holiday is somebody that comes up for if the Pelicans wanted to go that way.
I know I don't see that fitting for just because.
Yeah, I know we don't, and we talked about it on the Patreon. We don't have to go into
it. He's redundant.
Yeah, I totally. But that's what I mean. I think he's at the point where he's salary filler for people, man. Unfortunately.
Isn't that crazy, man? First overall pick traded for Kevin Love, and people were like, "You guys are idiots."
I remember being like, "That's dumb. Keep him around. Keep him with LeBron." Yeah. I was one of those guys.
You never
obviously.
know, man. You never know with the first overall pick, which is why, maybe having the 8th pick in the draft ain't so bad. I am trying to talk myself into not jumping off the ledge right now.
I agree with you, dude. I think this is the right draft for us to have the 8th pick in.
Do you really feel that way, or are you just trying to?
I literally do feel that way.
Okay, good.
I think
I've gotten so many "I'm sorry" texts from people. It's like
if this was a different draft, I would disagree with that. But this draft, who fucking knows? Anyway, in fact, I think the 8th pick, like this is the kind of draft that the best player is going to be like the 23rd pick or something random. You know what I mean? Like this is the kind we were talking about it, and I didn't even realize the draft that I was talking about the last time this happened. That was the Giannis draft. That was the one Giannis came out of.
He was 15th, I think, right?
No, I think he was deeper than that.
Really?
I thought so. I don't remember. I should know that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Salute to the Jazz for how hard they're fucking playing. And, yeah, Donovan
15th.
Mitchell.
15th.
Good call.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell. So what we should do, we should tell the Knicks to trade back to 15. But
Mitchell that was a Frank Ntilikina year.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, the Jazz are showing a lot of heart, and on the flip side, the Nuggets are showing no heart whatsoever. Like Jokic is getting totally owned by fucking Gobert. Gobert's good on offense.
Gobert, that's the thing, is you can't shut down the league and then get knocked out in the first round. You got to at least show up after that. The
Jazz are showing up, and especially I sort of like. I have to eat a little crow here when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, because I was like, I don't think he can do it without some scoring help. He's not efficient enough. And again, the Nuggets being horrific at defense is helping him a lot. And no matter who he plays next round, he's not. I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb and say he will not put up 250 pointers in the next round. He's not going to break that NBA record again.
But guess what? Would you be surprised if this went 7 still? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, no. But you know what? Actually, I take that back. I would be surprised.
Really?
I don't think – I'd like to see it go 7, and I'd like the Nuggets to show a little fight. And, I'd like them to show up, and just because I also like more basketball. And, again, Jamal Murray is fucking balling out of control. And it's not like Jokic is horrible, obviously. It's just he's got a lot to fucking deal with. But
he's got a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year still in his prime guarding him.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, I'm not particularly high on either of these teams. I mean, I'm enjoying watching.
I'd like the Nuggets to turn into something, but it really does feel like, and to his credit, Murray is doing that. Like, this is really impressive. I mean, they've had a couple duels. I mean, the game they won, He was going back and forth. He scored a shit ton of points too.
Dude, he's been so good. You know, the last time he's been this impressive has been on Instagram.
That's right. Maybe everybody's got to get their dick sucked on Instagram. This is what it takes, dude. You're going to see everyone leaking their dicks. You just hear
Chris Middleton's like, shh, hey, just let me try this. Come on.
It's like, why are we doing this? Like, just, do you want me to fucking get a max deal or not, bitch?
What about, I mean, we've talked about, obviously, the disappointing
Sixers, baby.
I mean, trust
Brutal.
the process.
RIP the process. The process is dead. And you know what, Sam?
Dude, Embiid and Simmons are, I know Simmons didn't even play, but you're like, can you rely on either of these dudes at all? Because even when Simmons was playing, we're like, what is going on? Elton Brand fucked up this roster by giving you $300 million to Tobias Harris and Al Horford.
Yeah.
And they're just not a fun team to watch.
Honestly, Sam, that's the problem. Like, everything else we want to talk about, it fundamentally comes down to the GM. I mean, Elton Brand has fucked this team up. I think Ben and Joel you don't trade players that are that good. You figure out how to make it work around them, and they did not. Not only did they not figure it out, they did maybe exactly the opposite of what you should do, like in every sense.
But but the problem is, I mean, look, if Simmons is healthy, I still think they lose. But Simmons doesn't shoot ever. Like, when have you seen in this era? Name another star player who can't hit a 15-footer, man.
Yeah, but he's first team all defense. He's incredible. He's an incredible offense creator for everybody else. And if they had the kinds of player, if they had some shooting in Joel, I think if you have three shooters, Ben and Joel, that's a fucking great team.
They had JJ Redick and Jimmy Butler last year, who can both hit a jump
shot. JJ Redick's Jimmy's not a fucking shooter, and he's completely ball dominant too. So that's true. Like they take the ball out of Ben's hands. I mean, last when they played the Raptors, you know, it felt like all Ben was there for was to guard Kawhi. Like he was like Lou Dort, you know, shouts out to Lou Dort. We'll talk about him in a little bit.
Excellent. I love
but that's what he was playing like. He was playing like Matisse Thybulle. He was playing like a defensive specialist that's okay, and we'll play 4-on-5 on offense. Yeah. It's a complete misuse of his fucking talents. And I mean, I think Jimmy would have been better to keep than Horford still. But at the same time, I think like Ben is just such a smart basketball player. He's so athletic, and he's such a great creator that
you can't hit a 15-footer, man. Like I just think
it's not. Listen,
but it's been years. Like, hit a shot, man. I know I'm talking about a guy who didn't even play, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
They're pretty good when they play together, though. When him and Embiid play together, they're good. That's the thing. I know it's not traditional basketball or whatever. I mean, it is traditional.
A game,
huh?
They couldn't take a game off.
I mean, that's on him. I feel like that's a little bit on Embiid. I don't know how Ben is catching these strays. That motherfucker's getting top, and you're like,
Embiid should have been able to take over. Like, you can't do one game where you just
one game, off. Yeah, on Daniel Tice.
I'm just saying, like, he's supposed to be this. Like, everyone who talks about him is like, he's the best big in the NBA, and I'm like, is he?
Well, that's what I was going to say, dude. If there was one of them, and I'm not skeptical about them, but if I was to be skeptical about one of them, it's more Joel than Ben. It's like
if you can only keep one, you keep Simmons, right?
As weird as it is to say, yeah, I think you do because and I've been reading some of the like post-mortem stuff. Like, I mean, not that it's over yet, but like, you know, I've been looking at some of the stuff, and I mean, think about it, even when Jimmy got there, he was like, they're like this team, they're too easy on us. Like, it's too soft. Even Richardson was like, yeah, there's not enough accountability. And that's probably Brett Brown being too nice of a guy. And by the way, everyone loves Embiid. I mean, do you think anyone ever was tough on Embiid ever?
No.
The only time anyone ever was when Shaq and Barkley flamed him on inside the NBA, and he came back and absolutely ravaged the Celtics. I think part of it is like Embiid. And look, I'm not trashing the guy. You know, I've been in quarantine, and I can't stop eating ice cream sandwiches for lunch. But Embiid is, you know, he's not, his body is probably if he treated it the way LeBron did, are you kidding me? If he tried to stay in shape,
Yeah, we shouldn't really be trashing another guy's physique. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
I pulled my back out sleeping the other night. So,
yes, absolutely.
you know.
I literally strained my back mixing cereal. I was like, I was getting a nice mix of Cocoa Puffs and peanut butter Chex going, and and my back
not even
hurt.
a healthy cereal.
No, it was not. It was not fucking grape nuts.
You got to get on that. Grape nuts are a solid cereal, and I'll tell you,
There's no kashi, whatever the fuck.
You got to get on that magic spoon train, my friend.
I'm not on the mat. I got to get in there. I don't know anything about it.
You smoke a little cushy dreams. You have some magic
now
spoon.
we're talking. Now
Magic
we're talking.
Spoon is like sugar cereal, no sugar. It's delicious.
Yeah,
Expensive.
you know what? I'll say this: Joel Embiid has been smoking a little too much CBD Dream, and not enough hustle and energy. He's been smoking the indica blends and not the sativa blends. That's where he's fucked up. And you know what? I think what the Philly owners need to do is sit down with some nice high quality CBD from our good friends at Cushy Dreams, and just open up their neural pathways. You know, sit down there, fucking fire up. And listen, you want to smoke out of a bowl? Great. They sell high quality CBD flower that smells.
That's my favorite one.
It smells like marijuana. It tastes like marijuana, but it doesn't get you high. You're not feeling sluggish. You're just alert and awake. I say they fucking use some of their fucking Wall Street money, some of their fucking, hedge fund money, buy a nice quality pipe and smoke some of the highest premium smokable CBDs, the country has to offer. And that's our friends at Cushy Dreams.
Love them.
They'll get the health benefits of CBD without getting high. And you can taste the attention to detail in every beautiful flower. And that's what they need to do, man. Or if they don't want to smoke out of the bowl, they don't want to smoke out of a pipe, they got these beautiful pre-rolls that are my personal favorite. And like we said, they have 4 different kinds of blends. They got energy, they got hustle, relax, dream, which I love.
It's like all the feelings you have in the NBA playoffs, right?
That's hustle, right. That's relax, right.
Create.
Yes, Joel needed some more energy and hustle and less relax and dream against the Celtics. How are you going to let fucking Daniel Tice out energy and hustle you? You got you got a 6'8" German man stopping you.
The Celtics are pretty good. I mean, we'll talk about it more later, but they're interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty good, I guess. I don't fuck them. It pisses me off, but I don't know. During the playoffs,
make me happy.
During the playoffs, I have been smoking some gorgeous Cushy Dreams.
Me too. Last night it helped me go to bed.
Helps me go to bed, but without fucking zonking me out. Like if I smoke fucking marijuana that gets you fucked up and high. But that's what I love about. I do love that about Cushy Dreams, because I've been if I smoke regular ass weed, I'm passing the fuck out. Like I missed the Nuggets game. I smoked all my high quality Cushy Dreams CBD, and all I had left was some of my old roommates' weed. So I was like, fuck it. Let me just, I can handle it. I can smoke a little weed. I kept coming in and out as fucking Donovan Mitchell was scoring. I was like, oh, nice. Then I zoned. I fucking sleep again. And it's like, it goes from the third quarter to the fourth quarter. I'm missing every key play. I don't know shit. I have to watch the games the next day in the morning. Not with CBD, baby. Not with Cushy Dreams, high quality CBD. You smoke that shit, you're ready to go, and you're coming down beautifully, getting ready for bed while staying alert. I love it so much.
And what's that promo code on the website, Doug?
Listen, you want to be like me and Sammy, go to cushydreams.com, Kushy, cushydreams.com, and at checkout, use promo code PODDON'T, PODDONT, for 15% off your first order. PODDON'T, cushydreams.com, promo code PODDON'T. Smoke your CBD because you can. Because you can, my friend.
Hey, man, I got some hot breaking news.
Word on the street?
From our producer, Hard Dick Harry.
What does HDH have for us?
The Sixers have fired Brett Brown.
There it is. He's gone.
Out. He needs some Cushy Dreams.
Listen, Brett, you send us an email, we'll get you some Cushy Dreams, baby boy.
I got to say something, too, about Jimmy Butler. This is interesting. I feel like Jimmy got a bad rap for how he handled things in Minnesota. And look, he could have handled it differently. Then he goes to Philly. You could tell he thought both of the cultures were kind of soft. And look at him in Miami now, dude. Can you blame him?
Thriving. Yeah.
Was he wrong? I mean,
Yeah.
he and Embiid seemed to get along, and it seemed like he brought the best out of Embiid. I got to give
Absolutely. I will say, if you have it to do over again, if you're Philly, I mean, if you have it to do over again, I don't think you make any of those trades, and I think you let that young roster grow. Like, we read it off on the Patreon, but it's like, if they just made no trades, they would have, Robert Covington, they would have Saric, they would have the shooter, Shamet, they would have,
Shamet would have
Korkmaz.
Yeah.
They'd have who they have still. They have JJ still. They could have all those.
Covington is an underappreciated piece wherever he goes, I think.
Yeah, and they were the ones who signed him to a smart contract, and then they fucking trade him away for Jimmy, actually. But anyway, if you had it to do over again, you don't make the trades, and you definitely don't pay fucking Tobias, and you don't sign Al Horford. But I think you keep Jimmy, you fire Brett Brown, and you don't pay Tobias that much. I mean, listen, Tobias is a nice player, but they paid him like he's a fucking star. And he's not.
Who do you bring in? What coach do you bring in if you're Philly?
That's a great question. Weirdly, like we got Tibbs, but Tibbs might have not been he might have been exactly what these motherfuckers needed, honestly.
I got a name for you.
Hit me with it.
Mark Jackson.
Oh, my God.
And let me say that because I am rooting against the Sixers.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't think you do Mark Jackson. That's brutal. That's what they need. That innovative offense. I don't fucking know. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I haven't even. I mean, this news just came out. So, and by the way, we're recording this one Monday, 6:00. The Rockets
during the game. Yeah.
The Rockets Thunder are playing right now. So, just because our schedule got a little mixed up this week, I'm leaving. I'm going to be away for the weekend, so we're recording everything one day early. The Patreon will come out Thursday. Anyway,
I got another thing for you, man. So the Nets got swept.
Yeah.
Toronto looks great. Lowry, hopefully his injury is not serious because I think the Raptors look just incredible. Norman motherfucking Powell just looking
baby.
like a stud.
Dude, I got to be honest. I have not watched 1 second of the Raptors Nets.
You should be watching
series.
The Raptors. They are the most fun team to watch in the East.
I watched the Raptors. I just haven't watched that series.
Yeah, I
watched them in the bubble.
The Raptors are just fun, dude. Fred VanVleet when he's a Knick next year, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Special.
And I hope he has another kid. We should put that in his contract. He has to have kids every year we're in the playoffs. He has to have a child so that he goes off again.
VanVleet, is that what he did?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He had a great. He went off after the birth of his son in the finals.
VanVleet has looked excellent. I mean, Siakam, that's going to be an intense series, Boston versus Toronto. I like Toronto personally, but, we don't know how serious the Lowry injury is, but they also don't have Hayward. Obviously, Lowry is more
much more important, especially because Kemba is a fucking problem.
But VanVleet is a pretty good defender, and so is
he's
Lowry.
good, but I think you want both those guys to throw at Kemba. Because Kemba's looking really good. Kemba's and they say all his injury issues are gone. He's got no restrictions, nothing. And he looks better every fucking game.
And also, I mean, Tatum is looking like a stud. I mean, it's going to be an interesting series because they do match up pretty well. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Siakam is a stud too.
I hope that's going to be an awesome.
Who are you
awesome
rooting
series. For? That's tough. I like Toronto more, but
me too. But you want the Bucks to make the finals.
I would. I kind of think Boston is a better matchup for the Bucks, but I don't know, man. The Bucks are scaring me either way. I want to see how they look in the next round.
Yeah, because I think the Raptors Bucks rematch would be really fun, but I think the Raptors are going to give Bucks problems. Yeah,
I mean both would give us problems. They're both I mean, Boston's shooting scares me a little bit because but Toronto's got good shooters too.
Look, Boston's tough, man. They're a tough team.
It's those above the break threes that scare me with the Celtics. Like the Celtics will just take one screen and just fucking hit a three at the top of the key, and it's just like the Bucks. They let those shots happen all the time.
Right.
But I don't know. Kemba and fucking Tatum doing that over and over again against the Bucks is what scares me. But I mean, either way, I guess I am rooting for the Raptors. I like them more as a team, and fuck Boston, of course. Fuck
Toronto's a
Boston
cool team,
is some
man.
DNA that runs deep through this podcast. Not just because of Boston New York rivalry, but also like weirdly Baltimore and Boston don't fucking like each other, like in every other sport. Because the Ravens and the Patriots, we fucked them up a couple times. We've upset them, and we all that kind of stuff. Fuck the Red Sox, of course.
I don't like Boston,
but also fuck the Yankees. Let's not forget that. O's, baby. Let's go O's.
I just have never liked the Celtics, and it's been weird because like when the only time the Knicks were good, the Celtics were not even really competitive.
Yeah, they were trash.
I mean, it was just fun to watch Ewing just throw down dunks on Dino Rasa.
yeah.
But the Celtics have been so good. I mean, they're just a better run franchise, obviously, for so long, and that run they had with Pierce and Garnett, they were just always competitive, and Ray and Rondo.
Yeah.
So,
but fuck the Celtics,
tough.
And hopefully something bad happens, not injury related, to their franchise. Hopefully Danny Ainge is caught in some kind of scandal, some kind of sex trafficking scandal.
Little St. James.
Yeah, let's get him on the flight logs.
We should call this episode Little St. Ainge.
Little St. Ainge. Yes, that's right. A free care package from our friends at cushydreams.com for anybody that can find proof that Danny Ainge was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's ruin the Celtics.
I like that our clips every week are just going to be like us bringing up Jeffrey Epstein in some way.
That's true.
What about,
this is the last time. This is a little dessert for us.
So, and then the last series, which I'm just not that into, is the Heat Pacers. I'll be much more into it when the Bucks have to play the Heat. But the Pacers are just not that fun without Sabonis to me.
I think they're going to sweep them tonight. And by the time you hear this, it'll be out.
No, but didn't the Pacers take one, or is it 3-0?
No, it's 3-0.
Oh, really?
Hilariously, only the Bucks are the only team that's going
to
keep playing in the East.
That's a great point. Yeah, I just don't.
Doesn't matter. We don't have to talk about it.
Brogdon looked great last game, though.
Yeah, Brogdon is. That's the Brogdon that we're going to miss. Again, the Bucks problems aren't regular season. They would have been able to figure it out regular season no matter what. But the way Brogdon was playing, we're going to miss him, man. Giannis is going to miss him.
For sure.
What we should talk about is Houston OKC, even though we don't know how the game is going to end. It's 103-101 OKC, which you got to give them a lot of credit. That last game, incredibly gutsy game. It really felt like the Rockets were going to win that. And shouts out to fucking Lugens Dort, who is, I think, Creole, but so that's why you have Lou Dort, which sounds like a Depression era Jewish man's name. He's got the most like, like old New York name I've ever heard in my life. Like Lou Dort sounds like he mails you checks for your birthday. You know what I mean? But what he actually is a fucking 6'3" specimen that just fucking shut down. Played better defense on Harden than I've seen anyone play in quite some time. He's really strong.
He's got like a really
he's not tall. He's not tall. He's 6'3", I believe.
He's a young guy?
He's young. He was, to give him credit, he came out of the fucking G League. He stuck onto the Thunder, and he just played a great role. And, absolutely fucked up. I saw a stat that was something like, I think when Harden in the series, when Harden is guarded by anyone but Lou Dort, he shoots about 50%. And when he's got Lou Dort on him, he shoots like 29. So that's huge.
Physical. I'm curious, do we know how long Westbrook is going to be out?
I don't think we know that.
Because that guy wants to play so badly, which is a bummer. But
I think we'll see what happens. I mean, this game is coming down to the wire. I think if it goes, 3-1, I don't think you play. I think you just rest Westbrook as much as you can, as much as you can get away with.
So the Rockets will play the winner of the Blazers-Lakers, right?
Yes.
That's a wild series, too.
It's going to be an awesome series.
I'm speaking ahead of myself. I do think the Rockets are going to win this now, but
I think they'll win the series. But I do think you have to give credit to the Thunder for
Chris Paul
fighting back.
That step over three he hit, just like that, kind of like where he steps back and hits it. I was like, that was a ballsy shot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He missed that game winner to send it to overtime just barely. And then he was like, fuck it, I'm taking over. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean, it was cool. And, getting it to overtime was big. And, Harden did not have a good game that game. And he ends up fouling out. And you can see without Harden, without Westbrook, I mean, this team is fucked. Although
They
Gordon
don't really have a creator. Gordon is a very good player. They just don't have a guy who can get everyone going. Gordon's more of a scorer.
Yeah, and again, you got to give credit to Lou Dort. I mean, he holds in that game the game before in game 3. Harden shoots 30%, 31 from the field. He only has 21 points. He shoots 18% from 3. So that's huge for them. The problem is on offense, what do you do?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Now we'll see how that one fucking ends up. Because what's the score right now? Score right now is 103. This is great. This is great on a podcast to do when they'll have already that you will absolutely know. Here's a live update from a game you will have known what happens in. It's 103-102 at this moment. But anyway, it's interesting, man.
OKC's got heart, man. I picked them to win this because I didn't think Westbrook was going to come back, but it looks like the Rockets are a little better even without.
Yeah,
it's just, you can't be James Harden and lose in the first round when you're favored. It's just
that's too depressing if you're Harden. But I think who knows? They might even pull out this one. But I think either way, the Rockets end up coming out of this. And tonight you have the Lakers Portland, which I don't know. I think this will be the funnest game we'll get. I think the Lakers win this one, but I think the Blazers are really going to try because
I hope not, man.
It's essentially a must win if you're the Blazers.
Oh, it is. They're not winning 3 straight on the Lakers.
Yeah.
They need to win this game, and I want Portland to win.
Yeah.
I want Dame to go off. I want Melo to go off. I want CJ. Nurk,
yeah, dude.
Trent. Let's fucking go, Portland. Portland is America's team right now.
We'll see. Well, that's the problem. Luka's heroics have over. It's like everyone's almost forgotten about them.
I haven't forgotten.
You haven't? Good for you,
no,
man.
Dame rules. Come on.
Yeah, he does. He does rule. I agree with you.
We got to give LUKA a guy who fucks of the week, though.
Undisputed for sure.
Without question.
He's the guy who fucks of the week.
I don't
an
think
incredible
it's
performance. I don't think it's close either. But
who the little dick motherfucker of the week is?
Oh my God. This is the most clear it's ever been. Paul George for little dick motherfucker who does not fuck of the week. Paul George with a bullet. It's not even close.
And there'd be no guarantee, and we wouldn't take joy in this if he weren't so rude to Dame and that we're sending you home.
Dude, that was when he was like Dame time's running out. It's again the vibes, these pure bad vibes. If the Clippers lose, it's because of this. Right. I'm not even fucking joking. If the Clippers lose, it's because God saw Paul George's comments and was like, "Come on, how's a little tendonitis in that shoulder, you motherfucker?" Just zaps him.
This is when you buy low. I say the Knicks try to throw Bobby Portis to the Clippers next year. Yep. We take Paul George. We turn things around. And, maybe he'll turn it around in New York.
That's right. New York, famous, no distractions here. It'll be exactly what Paul George needs to focus solely on basketball.
That's how I pitch athletes to come to my team. I'm like, you're the little dick motherfucker of the week. We would love to have you in Madison Square Garden as well.
We would. The truth is we would.
Oh, I would. I mean,
in a fucking heartbeat. Yeah. But yeah, his little dick vibes are really fucking up the Clippers.
He really messed up.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens next game, and I mean, Trez is playing himself back into shape, honestly, and Beverly's also huge for them. Beverly, they really need Beverly just for the attitude alone. I mean,
also, you don't have to play quite as hard on D if you're Paul George or Kawhi, and they're your 2 best offensive players, and they're also your 2 best defensive players. But they can't really take possessions off right now when you're going up against like a guy like LUKA and all these shooters.
And when they did stave off that comeback, or when they made their own like counter comeback, it was when Kawhi said, "Fuck it, I got LUKA," right. And that's going to tire him out. And it's like, why the fuck wasn't Paul George doing that? If you're Paul George and you haven't contributed to the offense, why aren't you like, I'll fucking let me do something. that didn't make sense to me in hindsight. Why the fuck didn't they just throw him on there?
Kawhi is stronger, and Luka is strong. I mean, Kawhi is so damn strong, though. But, yeah, you're right. Paul George should be taking that upon himself. He is a first-team defensive player talent, and it's just weird to see him just not playing well. He is undeniably a great player. So
I wonder if he's going to get the fucking yips permanently, dude. He's no joke, one more game, and it starts getting really weird. Like,
I think if you're smart, if you're Doc Rivers and you're Kawhi, you get him open looks on purpose to get his confidence back. And you keep shooting till you get your confidence back if you're good teammates to Paul George. Because Kawhi knows. He knows he needs him. He knows he's not winning another ring without Paul George.
Kawhi is like, why the fuck didn't I call? He's like, why didn't I just try and get KD even though he had his fucking knee out? Why didn't I try and get Jimmy Butler?
It's also weird to think, like, the older Kawhi gets, like, how many older guys are there who have to carry that load defensively?
Yeah, well.
Who do that much on offense as well. He does so much on defense.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why the motherfucker takes 3/4 of the season off. Right. Like, even when he doesn't, even when he plays, he load manages. He plays like harder in the fourth quarter. I mean, it is awesome to just watch Kawhi say, fuck this, because that's what he did. I mean, the game went to overtime and they had some, it ended up going the Mavs' way, but it was trending towards the Mavs winning a big, it's not even close at the end. And Kawhi's the guy who's like, fuck that. It's not happening. I'm guarding your best player and I'm making the offense happen. And, he just, I think if this was like the finals, I don't think Kawhi loses this game. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I
don't think so. But also Luka really those were some of those shots he hit. There was one play where he missed a layup with Mook on him and then just kind of muscled him out of the way, got the rebound and put it back. And I was like, that's not a play you're used to seeing from a 21-year-old.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like a man body move.
But, I still think Bagley's got a chance at being just as good. Yeah, good thing Vladdy's already fired, or else he would have been forced to commit seppuku. The Suns, I don't care how good fucking Ayton is. The Suns,
he is good, but he's not.
Come on.
No, dude, I'm saying
even the Hawks, everyone that passed is a fucking idiot. I don't give a fuck about. I don't want to hear about Trae Young. Trae Young's good, but come on, dude, he's not this.
He's good, but this is a generational talent.
Yeah, and it's like, look, Trae Young is a generational offensive talent, but it's like Luka's just so different, man. It's like
it was just his body. I mean, Trae Young.
Trae Young was 6'7". Maybe we can talk.
For his size, Trae is unbelievable. I mean, he hits Steph Curry like shots. He's young. He averaged like 28 a game this year.
Yeah. But it's just like Luka. It's crazy to be like
averages 29 a game on a winning team and a team that's like in the West. And I mean, it's just a different thing. He elevates also, everyone.
Like, I couldn't believe it at the time, and I can't believe it now. It's like he was the MVP of the second best league in the world at 19. Yeah. Not really good. Like, there was no one better. Nobody. He's crazy.
As a clear-cut rookie of the year. I mean, people were giving Trae his props, and he deserved the props, but Luka's he's the rookie of the year that year, without question. And this year, he is in the conversation.
I'm so pissed. He's
in the conversation
fuck Dallas. They don't deserve this. Fuck Mark Cuban. Fuck him in his tight little T-shirts and fuck Shark Tank.
I love Cuban. I would kill for Cuban to be our owner.
Of course, but he's not. He's not our owner. Fuck Dallas. It sucks. It sucks over there.
Cuban rules, man. And not only that, he wrote a nice thing about New York also, and that idiot wrote a fucking...
Oh, my God. That was so fucking stupid.
Cuban wrote a nice thing about New York. He's saying, like, he'll reinvest. And I was like, hell yeah, because Cuban gets it. And on top of that, Cuban's tweeting, like, don't
fuck Dallas. Luka. They get Dirk and Luka back-to-back. They were the fifth. They got so lucky, dude. They were picking 5 in that draft. And enough fucking morons passed on Luka. They should have no chance at it. Why the fuck could that have happened to us? We picked third in the Zion and fucking. Oh, I'm pissed.
We got Jordan Hill after Steph Curry in that draft.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Dude,
This
okay,
sucks.
you're new to the fucking to the suicide train, motherfucker. You gotta wait a while.
You're right. You get to kill yourself first. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. I appreciate it.
It's just
Stop,
so annoying.
You got next.
Yeah.
Dude, it's being a Knicks fan is brutal. I really do still believe that RJ could be a terrific player. He has the all-around ability to be a killer still. He's young, man. We don't know.
It pisses me off how lucky they got, dude. Like to pick
Dude,
5
it sucks.
to pick 5 and come away with the best player, in that draft easily, and then we picked 3rd with Zion and fucking.
Meanwhile, you don't want to know what I would do for a guy like Trae Young. I would kill for a player like that.
I'm pissed, dude. Yeah,
When's
me
the
too.
last time we even had a fucking all-star?
Are you kidding me? I would.
Who we traded away.
Don't. Yeah, I can't. I would kill for Trae Young.
To play with the generational player. And we had to dump salaries we shouldn't have had.
It's pissed.
Nonsense.
Whatever, man.
Glad
Fuck that. I'm pissed.
No?
I'm pissed. That's how it was always gonna end.
Yeah.
So it's 109. Damn. Should we just talk a little bullshit longer until we figure out what happens with OKC and Houston?
Not? I mean, this is like a nice little game down the stretch.
God,
I want to see CP3 versus Harden. I love it, dude. Oh my God, beautiful.
Russ.
Chris Paul, they deserved a ring, the Rockets. CP3 and
I'm pissed about that too.
Could have beaten the Warriors.
I was rooting so heavily against the Warriors.
I feel like the world was. Once you win your first, once they won their first one against LeBron, even though his team was crippled, it was kind of cool because you were like, oh, I guess offense and shooting. They always said shooting couldn't win, and it did.
Right.
And that was kind of cool. But then once they started winning, and then they got Durant.
Once they got Durant, is when it was over for me, to be clear. It's bullshit. It sucks, and it fucked basketball up for a while. And I'm happy Durant – it's so funny Durant thought people were going to respect him after that.
Well, in a way I feel for him because he did what he thought he needed to do, and he's probably even more miserable. On some level, he can relax because he won, so he gets to know his buddy. No,
I don't think he can relax until he wins another one out of – for real.
He won
because he's so great. He's so great. He's got the talent to win 4. He's got Kobe talent.
Too much shit about him because he might just like a girl I like's photo on Instagram.
Yeah, but his game is kind of weak, bro. To be fair.
If I had his bank account and talent, I would have better game, I think.
Yeah. Take that, KD.
Yeah, I would be...
if we were as handsome, rich, and talented as you, we would get more pussy. But we're not, and we don't.
KD is, in all fairness, for a world-class athlete, he does have a kind of weird body.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Shirtless, he probably does not look ripped. He's probably just skinny and amazing. He's
got very long limbs. Although his feet look like, hoagie rolls.
It is weird that
his penis is probably unwieldy. You know what I mean? It's probably too long for a woman.
It's also weird that his penis is like his game. It's just too long to stop.
Yeah.
But but that's the thing about Durant where you're like, all right, you are great, but you do have the body of DJ Qualls and Road Trip. That's a little weird, right?
Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas type shit.
Tim Burton designed your physique.
Yeah. Wow, it looks like OKC's going to come away with this one.
Wow.
Wild, dude. It's 113-108.
I think it's a pretty even series without Westbrook.
Yeah, without Westbrook, that's true.
I just don't.
Shea played 43 minutes. Jesus fucking Christ.
But Chris Paul is not going. He is not the way they talk about Embiid, letting a team get swept. A Chris Paul team ain't getting swept.
Yeah.
He's an old school guy who's fuck you. You're not. He will pinch your penis.
Yeah, he's definitely pinching your. He did literally hit someone in the nuts. It looks like, from what I can tell off the box score, that it's their bench that really did it. Dennis Schroeder is plus 13. Nerlens Noel is plus 9.
Yeah.
And Jeff Green is minus 15. Oh, Jeff Green with a fucking stinker finally.
He played really well last game.
Yeah. Yeah. PJ's not looking too good either. But Eric Gordon didn't play great. Anyway. Wow. So we got a fucking series here. Very interesting. 18 seconds to go. We should end it here, and then if the Rockets come back, we're gonna look so stupid. So
make sure to subscribe to our Patreon. That's growing like crazy.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it, guys.
Pod Don't Lie, and leave a nice review on iTunes. We're getting so many new people lately. It's great.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys listening. We love doing the show. We're thrilled. I mean, we can't wait for the rest of the playoffs. And even in the off season, we just love talking hoops year round. So, but we've got so much playoffs to go. We've got so many great series, and I can't wait. I mean, truly, I can't wait to watch Celtics Raptors. As much as that's going to be an awesome round 2 series.
It's a big series for Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How much can he do for that? I mean, the Celtics are a good team, but it's a heavy scoring load for him. Whereas I think, Jaylen Brown, obviously a very good all around player. Kemba Walker, we'll see what he's going to give you because he hasn't really been in this position, right? I mean, he's not a guy.
Yeah, but I that's why I'm excited for that too. I want to see what Kemba's going to do too.
That being said, the Raptors and just the way they play, man, they're just so fucking fun to watch.
Yeah, it would be incredibly hard, Dickon, for them to win again. Would that just be like, we don't need Kawhi. We're just going to win.
Raptors fans are cocky. They're kind of like, we're better.
I know.
Better.
We got to have Pavona on if it ends up being Raptors Bucks. We got to. But anyway, excited for the playoffs. Shouts out to Luka again. And looks like we got a series, Houston, OKC 2-2, Mavs.
You think you're going to get rid of Chris Paul and he's not going to annoy you for the rest of your life?
He's going to be annoying. He's absolutely.
I want to see it. I want to see in Game 5. I want to see Chris Paul blowing Harden's ear like Lance Stevenson.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want this to get heated, man.
Chris Paul knows which players have a foreskin just so that he can pinch it. Every European player knows to stay away from Chris Paul. He's got that advantage. He'll hold your aardvark shut, brother. He's got a spreadsheet somewhere. Everyone who's uncut.
The entire Dallas team is like, please stay away.
We're bad. For some reason, I don't know why, the Mavs have been tanking to get out of OKC's side of the bracket. They don't want to play Chris Paul at all. We'll play LeBron. We don't care. Just not Chris Paul again. Anyway, 7 seconds left. Looks like the Thunder are going to take this. We're going to end this now so that if they don't, we look like idiots. But thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
We will be back on a rare Thursday edition, Patreon edition, because I'll be gone this weekend. And then we will be back either Monday or Tuesday with the free one. So thank you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Enjoy the playoffs.
Bye.
Bye.